What's up, YouTube? So I just did a video on how to change out the LCD for the Asus Q302LA, and now I'm going to do a video on the troubleshooting we're going to have to do to figure out what the problem is as far as why it's not turning on. So I got the charger here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in and show you guys what I'm seeing. What I am seeing is the white light that comes on. It's solid. Now Asus has different ways of telling you what the problem is via that light, and when it's blinking, it does, there's a certain problem, and when it blinks so many times or in intervals of so many seconds. But as far as this light here being just solid, there's really no indication that I can find that it is of a certain problem or a specific problem. And so my troubleshooting method is going to be to just tear down the board, take everything off of it, and make sure that all the right screws are in the right places, and just look for maybe a short to ground somewhere, something like that. So here we are. I'm gonna stop the video and just go back to the video whenever I find a problem. So I'll kind of walk you through this step by step. All right. So one of the first steps that I took is this, and this is going to make everything so much easier. I labeled where all of the the screws are going to come from, and that way when I take like I took the screws off the battery, so now I have a specific place I can put them, and that way if I see something wrong, as far as I'm looking in one of these sockets that the screws screw into, or whatever you want to call it, I can look and see, if it's messed up or whatever. I can look back and see what screws went into it, and likely see if I put the wrong screw in, or if there's something like that that could be causing the short to ground, or whatever may be the case. And so this is the first step. So that way, whenever you look at the problem, you can go back and say, okay, well, this is what went here. That it's not just to keep it organized so you don't put the wrong things in the wrong places. So that's going to be the first thing. And so I took out the screws for the battery, and you just kind of pop that either corner of that battery off, and it just slides right off. So, and I chose the battery to take out first was because now I can see, under the motherboard, maybe there's some kind of cable that's not connected or whatever. I can kind of see through there. And so I'm going to check it out and come right back to the video. All right, so now we are into the fan. I'm going to record taking the fan out. Just take those screws off. This is always going to be a little tight on there because there's supposed to be some heat sink on there to keep it from overheating the actual graphics processor. And you know what, it looks like there wasn't enough heat sink on there, and if it was, maybe there was. I mean, it very well could be my graphics processor. If it was that, well, then I'm in trouble, because replacing one of those things means you have to re-ball it. And what that is on the back side of this, there'll be little solder points, like these little metal things you see all over the board, and you have to literally unsolder them by heating them up. So you'll have to use a hot air soldering gun, which will heat them all up at the same time, and then you'll pull it off, and then you'll use flux to pour on it. This is the flux here, I'll show you, which will it'll not only clean the solder, but it'll just keep it to where it's, it won't, I don't know, it keeps it from, it's just easier to maneuver the solder and things like that. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm not a really educated solderer. But anyways, hopefully that's not my problem. I'm going to continue troubleshooting and keep you guys updated. So, alright, so I believe I identified a problem. I don't believe it to be the problem. It may be. And as I say, it may be because I honestly don't know what that is. But I know it's bent and it's out of place. And so, in this case, I am going to need to get the schematics on the board, which will tell me exactly what that's used for and what is connected to it, because this circuit board here, motherboard you can call it, but basically with any circuit, it needs to be complete. And meaning, if I insert positive energy here, or power, then that positive energy will flow all the way here to the battery. And even though it goes in the battery, the battery is gonna then have to release that energy to power the motherboard. Eventually, it comes back to this point where it went in at, because every circuit is complete. And so, if this is interrupting the power cycle of the circuit, then it could therefore potentially prevent this board from charging, which is one of the problems. But the main problem is the graphics. The video was not displaying, but we can't figure out exactly what's going on with the video until we have fixed the power issue, because obviously if it's not powering up, then it wouldn't display video anyway. So therefore we have to eliminate one of the problems by solving it to determine whether there lays a problem in the graphics processor or not. So I am going to look into that and get back to you guys. Alright, so I actually had a quick idea before I had to, went to the trouble of grabbing the schematics and, take the chance of pulling out a multimeter and all that extra work. I took out the hard drive, which allows me to pull up the motherboard out of its position. And I noticed that the motherboard, let me get this LED ribbon cable off. The motherboard was slanted. If you look at it, it was just it was up at an angle like this, like there was more pressure on it on that side. So there may be a problem with this right here, causing it to ground out because it's putting pressure on it, because this piece is broke and now it's bent down. So I'm going to unbend that, but before I do that, I'm going to take the motherboard, which I can't do because I only have one hand to record, and this is going to require both. I'm going to hook the battery up here, and then I'm going to plug in the charger here where it goes, and then I'm going to hook up the LED ribbon cable here, which you can't see that because whatever, I can't point right here anyway in the middle of the screen. And I'm going to plug it in to see if I even get the charging indicator. If I don't get the charging indicator, well then I'll proceed forward, hoping that it's not just a bad LED light. But more than likely it's not. So anyways, that's where I'm at. And I'm going to pause it. Alright, so I got this all hooked up, as you see. And I still got this, just the white thanking light, or whatever that means. So what this does is it really just tells me, if it would have changed, then I would have known that there would have been a problem with the short to ground, because right now there's nothing connected to the board. And so I can take out the assumption that I was making of it being a short to ground, like maybe a screw was too tight and connecting it to a ground where it should be a current flow, and it's actually stopping the current flow. So now it's time to bust out the schematics and check on this little issue here. And honestly, it's not broke, and it's just kind of bent a little bit. And so if it is a problem, it can be fixed real easy. So anyways, I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so this is where I'm at, schematics.com. This is a very good program. It lets you actually not only view the schematics, but you can open edit any project that they currently have, and this is the project currently for the Asus Q03 or Q03, what's it called? Q302LA model, and this is the motherboard that goes in it. So anyways, the point, I feel silly, to tell you the truth. If I look right here, I should have been able to tell that is got to be a spot for something. I don't know what goes there. I said, reball this, the graphics processor. Well, that looks like where, the graphics chip goes. I don't know, to tell you the truth, because I don't know a lot about doing these board repairs. I've never done a board repair to where I was soldering graphic chips. I've soldered, the USB ports in, or fixed those, and I fixed the mount point for the the video cables that hook in from the LCD, and I've done a couple other little things here and there, but I really don't know about this. So I'm going to leave this video open and just it's not going to be, I'm not going to be able to finish this because I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm going to have to read more and figure out about this, but I'm going to post it anyway, just because if there's somebody out there that knows anything about this, then that would be great. I could use all the help available. So if you guys have some insight, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe. I'm out. Alright, so back to the motherboard. Before I upload this video, I wanted to add a little clip. The spot right here that was bent, I found another spot on the board I didn't even realize was there, where it's just like that. There we go. And so it looks to be like a clip or something. So I looked at this part that was twisted and realized that it wasn't just bent, it was actually broke. And it's broke at the back point where it's supposed to clip. Here, if I can get it to focus. There. So it's supposed to clip right there. I bent that back into place, and I don't know how much effect that'll have on the actual board. And so I'll have to look into that as well, but just to let you guys know the other issues that I was having. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this all back together. I'm kind of cleaning up the board a little bit now, and I'm going to put it all back together after I clean it up and add some more heat sink right here. And then I'm just going to let it charge on the charger for 4 or 5 hours just to see if it'll even a trickle charge to enough to power on. And so the thing that happened with this laptop, I was actually using this laptop, and as I'm in the middle, I wasn't even doing nothing. I wasn't like I was watching a video or I was doing something that would make the actual motherboard work hard. I was looking on my desktop, like aimlessly moving my mouse around, trying to think of something to do, and it just shut down on me. And so it's possible that it's a problem with the BIOS as well, and there's so many possibilities right now, and I'm trying to eliminate as many as I can. But anyways, I'm gonna put this back together because it's got to go, get put up somehow. And I really can't start troubleshooting until my multimeter comes in that I ordered, as well as my rework soldering station. This soldering iron right here is too thick, so once that does come in, I'll update the video. But for now, this is all that's going to get put up. And please put your insight. Thank you. Like and subscribe if you would. You guys have a good day. All right, so I took the battery off of the board. I took out the charger, took out the RAM, took out the hard drive, held down the power. What that did is it took all the storage, all the memory, removed it from the board, all the sources of power, removed it from the board, which in theory is supposed to reset the CMOS by draining all the memory in the BIOS. At least that's the way I understand it. Now, I plug it in, and I don't know if I just need to let it trickle charge or what, but this is what I'm thinking, and it'll work. I plug it in. Oh, let me show you as I plug it in. You see that? It flashes. Like sometimes I get the fan to half move. When I plug it in only. And so it's weird that it's trying, I feel like it's trying to boot up. I just don't get it, to tell you the truth. I've never seen that happen. So I'm trying to get the fan to spin like it did for me the first time. Nothing. Just get these lights flickering. Right, is there only one flickering now? Oh, there's the fan moving. Damn. Oh, there it goes. So that's what I got. Any thoughts would be welcome.